we're not going to disrespect the Hulkster. That's what we're not going to do. Is we're not going to be disrespecting Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster. I don't care if he had some controversy outside of the ring. I don't care if he endorsed Donald Trump. We're talking about one of the most original characters in American popular culture history, whether you know wrestling or you're a fan of wrestling or not. We are talking about a guy who created something out of his imagination that captured the world's attention. Men, women, and children all know who Hulk Hogan is, who the great Hulk Hogan was. And like I said, I don't care about him endorsing Trump. I don't care about the stuff that was controversial. We're not going to be disrespecting the man with the 18-inch pythons, brother. We're not going to be disrespecting the Hulkster for the joy that he gave. Forget you as an adult, sicko. Forget you. Think about the kids. Think about you as a kid. Talk about a real-life superhero. When the Hulkster was out there oiled up with his goatee and his hair and those 18-inch pythons, brother, pure joy, elation, total original. This is an original character that he created. Hulk fucking Hogan, the Hulkster. We're not going to disrespect the Hulkster, brother. Hulk Hogan passes away. We're not going to disrespect the Hulkster.
All right, let me put this together. And don't take some of my early references and points and mold them all the way yet. Let me get all the way to the end because I don't want to disrespect Hulk Hogan. Okay, you gotta let me put the whole piece together. Shout out to Mike here. Fuck with Mike, respect Mike. He's always been an outspoken guy over the years. Great career. He's a part of some great movies. Shout out to Mike. Hell, High Learning. What's good, Remy? I mean that with no disrespect. Shout out to Mike. Real talk from the heart. He makes a very bad point there, though. When he talks about, don't think about the adult you. Think about the child you. Okay. Like, I can give you a disgusting example of that, of the child me, how I look at something, and then as I get older and I learn more about the world and I learn more about people, you know, how things change. Like the child me looked at Pee Wee Herman for a on-screen childhood character that made me laugh. And as I played with toys and I probably had Pee Wee Herman figures or whatever, right? Childhood, okay? And then as I grew up older and I heard about some of the nasty pedo-like stuff he was doing, I totally removed myself and disconnected from looking at him and identifying him with somebody that I rock with. Okay, I left it. I don't know what's going on with Pee Wee Herman these days. I'm not checking for him. I don't care about him. Respect to him, right? I'll give you another one. Not as I was a kid. He wasn't around when I was a kid, but he was around when I was a young adult. And definitely as I became older, my feelings continue to transform. I'll use R. Kelly, okay? R. Kelly could do no wrong when all I saw was a musical figure, was a musical star, a musical genius, somebody that was pumping out classic after classic after classic for himself as well as other people, other artists. When we found out behind the scenes what was going on or how he really was as a man or as a person, bare minimum, you felt a little different towards him. Bare minimum, you felt different. Now, I just want to use those two clear examples to paint the picture and to prove the point with most people that what Mike just said isn't correct. All right. But I understand what he was trying to do there. Let's go specifically to Hulk Hogan now. Anybody notice that we didn't cover Hulk Hogan's passing? What was it, a couple days ago? And let me start this piece by saying, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Okay. Rest in peace. Did anybody notice that we didn't cover it? Why didn't we cover it? The way I am as a person, you guys have heard me say hundreds of times, life is precious. I don't be wishing death on people. I don't go to those extremes. You don't hear me talk like that. I keep my karma the right way in that realm of life versus death. I don't really go there. If you see me come across a critical story or something, I'll be like, fuck them. Right? Like, oh, you didn't sex trafficked a bunch of kids and whatnot. I'm like, fuck them. That's the devil right there. Fuck them. Right? But outside of that type of stuff that really is like extreme, I keep my karma like that. I don't really wish death and do all of that. That's not for me. Okay. So if somebody passes away that I have come not to rock with for whatever reason, whether it's mediocre reasons, extreme reasons, or even smaller reasons, I just go quiet. I don't post. I don't tweet. I don't retweet. We could have taken Hulk Hogan's passing and paid an hour-long plus tribute, and I still would have made it make 100% sense. We could have covered his movies. We could have covered his lengthy WWF, pinnacle moments. I could have even gone the direction of making it controversial. I could have covered that audio that came out. I could have covered the Trump stuff. I could have covered, I'm going to say it, the racist stuff. I could have did all of that in an hour-long segment. It wasn't about content. I was just me. Like, I don't say a word. I left it alone. Do I wish death on Hulk Hogan or anything like that? Fuck no. Fuck no. I don't. Rest in peace, man. Life is precious. But that's why we didn't cover it. Okay? And when stuff like that comes out about you, Pee Wee Herman, R. Kelly, Mel Gibson is another one, right? I think I looked at Mel Gibson as like, a guy that gave me Lethal Weapon and all these movies. And fast forward, he's behind the scenes putting together some big movies. But then wasn't he behind Passion of Christ and all this type of stuff? And when I heard that audio, I said, damn. Because you see what tone I see in the mirror when I look in the mirror every day, right? So that applies to me. And unless you growing up in America as a black man or a black woman, maybe you don't understand that shit still cuts deep. I told y'all the story the other day of the little racist or stereotypic shit I went through in my community where I live. I told y'all that shit like last week, right? A couple days ago, I told y'all that story. That shit made me enraged. I asked the man to get out of his car. I'm not a guy that's out here walking around trying to get into fights. I'm past that point in my life. I ain't trying to get into no court shit, no drama, no getting arrested. I try to avoid bullshit and fuck people as much as possible in my real life. If I'm talking about fuck people or if I'm engaging with fuck people, it's right here on the podcast. I don't want to go no further. I'm cool. I did all of that shit already in my life. You know what I'm saying? But that man in that racist moment, I'm like, yo, get out your car. I could have ended up in jail. I could have ended up hurting him. I could have got hurt. You never know. Because that shit still burns. It burns us. That racist shit burns us. If you grow up in America, it becomes a part of your soul. It becomes a part of your culture. It becomes a part of your living. It burns us. That's why it's a go-to for people. Nigga, that's why it's a go-to. And it makes us react every fucking time, damn near. You got to try to walk away like, all right, words is words. It's all good. You want to get a reaction out of a couple of black guys walking by, just call him a nigga and see what happens to you. But that's why I didn't cover it. And Mike, I got a lot of respect for Mike, man. And he's just very incorrect with saying that. He just needed to put more context together. It would have been correct for him to put out such, because he's a public figure. So when I see reactions like that, I think that's what made me bring that to the stream this morning. I think the right thing to say there is, or build a context that a person is not an angel. A person is not always going to be right. Nobody is perfect. I claim that all the fucking time. The man has made some mistakes. The man didn't really feel like that his whole life, etc., etc., etc. And, I want to appreciate him for the things that he gave to me as a child and the way that he's become a household name and impacted the world. That's how you put that out there. But what Mike did is he came standoffish. You're pretty much telling people to ignore what came out about Hulk and scratch it and say, forget that. Don't focus on that. We don't care about that because what's more important is what he did in our childhood. You can't do that, Mike. And Mike is very, very tapped in with our culture. And it bothers me to see a white man say that, Mike. You can't do that. You can't, as a white man, say, forget what he did related to Trump or the racist stuff or whatever. Let's just focus on what he did for us as children. You can't do that. I gotta stop. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. That's a light check, and we don't do numbers. If this podcast did big numbers, I'll be checking the fuck out of all y'all niggas. Y'all gonna get checked anyway. But y'all be in my DMs, flooding my DMs. Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Because I'm because y'all really be wrong. Y'all really be wrong.